should go live. And turn that off and...
We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham's the team, down at St Andrews. We are all supporters of our team. We chant at Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's hear you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the point at home when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have the team that's tops here at St Andrews. They're gonna give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever. Let's hear it from the stand. So come on, sing this song once more.
Talk show is exactly what one bites on, mate. Welcome along. I've got an hour and a half of great chat and opinions coming up for you over the next, 1.5 hours. Thank you to Boy Sports for sponsoring us and to our good friends at SAS Autos and boards the Labour Club. Did see the flag on them the other day. Well done. And, of course, Garrison Coffee Company. Thank you very much indeed, guys. OK, so tonight we've got an absolute legless. Danny Sonner couldn't make it. Paul will go into detail. Not Paul, sorry. Mr. Rowe will go into details in a moment why he couldn't. And we'll just crack on with the show. Of course, we welcome guest, legend and superstar that is Paul Devlin.
Yeah, who are ya? Wrong one. Mr. Floor. No. Hey, third time looking.
Along with an all motley crew, Brown. Mr. Robe.
Hello, everyone.
And, of course, Mr. Shee.
Good evening, all.
Great win for the Blues. Saturday 2-1 win against Preston away. That's what we want. We knew one was coming. And we looked good. We looked better. We're looking better every single game that we're playing. Opinions.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Paul, your opinions.
Sorry.
It's a real Paul Devlin or Paul Ipkiss? Who
There's two.
He's just realised.
Classic.
Debs,
I'll take yours first.
Yeah, your connection's not that good, Nick. That's probably why. So.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bad connection. No, I mean, fantastic. Obviously, I think that's 3 unbeaten now and back to back wins, which is always great. And like you say, we're looking a little bit more solid each time we go out there. I just I'd like to see us add a few more goals to the team, but no, I mean you can't ask for much more. That two wins on the bounce, so going in the right direction.
Definitely.
It was a 2-1 win. That's the 3 points in the bag. Is that 10 points now we got?
11.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, plus one.
Goal.
Yeah, plus 1 goal difference. When did that last happen?
Yeah,
It's been a while.
We're looking. Sorry, go
on. Watching it on Saturday though, I saw a better shape, the whole function of the team. Everybody seemed to know where their jobs were, where their responsibilities and their roles were, and it just looked a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're certainly a lot more organised defensively, and we have been all season, to be honest, since he's come in. Yeah. So since the league started. Obviously, what we were saying before was, and everyone's more or less saying, is that we were lacking that attacking threat and that cutting edge. And he seems to have brought that in now. Certainly look better going forward with Lecco and McGree as well, with San Jose in the back three on Saturday, pinging the passes forward. He's quality, isn't he? Really good player. So we look good, and we played Duke to his strengths as well on Saturday, didn't we? He was holding the ball up. He had the pace of Lecco on the one side, and then better in the second half. And it's looking good, and you don't want to get too carried away though. We've got Wickham at home, obviously coming up, and you'd like to think we can get 3 wins on the trot, but it's the Blues we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, but usually the ones where you think, we've had a good couple of weeks here, we've got a great chance of winning. They're normally the ones we mess up, don't we? And
exactly.
We're getting beat. So you can't take anything for granted. He's putting his stamp on the team now, Karanka. So hopefully he can build on this good couple of weeks that we've had.
Definitely.
Yeah. But like I say, the first win up at Preston for a long time, because they've been a bogey team for a long time, haven't they? So it was a great win, and it surprised me, how many people on the social media and the Super Six and all the rest of it. A lot of us did actually put us down to win. I know I put down 2-1.
Yeah.
But
I think as well, Mark. I think that team selection that before the game kicked off, it raised a few eyebrows, didn't it? There's quite a few surprises.
Like I say, Paul, Cogley coming in. I didn't see that one coming.
No, me neither.
McGree getting a start as well. It paid off. It's a brilliant result. Brilliant. Really pleased with that.
Lots and lots of comments coming in. Linda says, Dev Jabir is looking a bit bushy. I'd take the aftershave back and get a refund if I was you. The Devs looks like he's going to grant me 3 wishes any of these days.
I wish I could grant a few wishes.
I like that one.
And just a couple of minutes ago, wants lots of Barry Fry stories tonight, Devs. If we possibly could have a few of them.
But you can't. The best ones are you can't tell them, can you? That's the problem.
We haven't got 5 hours.
No, yeah.
Shout out as well for Everidge's save at 2-1, obviously, to stop it going 2-2. That was just a great save that he tipped over the bar, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a
great game.
He's going to be a great goalkeeper.
Nigel Mansell's thoughts on it. I think he's an absolute quality goalkeeper.
Yeah,
definitely.
He is, No, he is. I mean, you
can tell.
Dev, you can tell me this, but a good goalkeeper wins your leagues, doesn't it, and gets your promotions and stuff.
It's massive. They're always the first ones to get criticised because you can't hide as you're a goalkeeper. You can be a centre forward and miss 3 chances in a row and then score your 4th one, and you're still the hero. You can't get 3 goals in a row and save the 4th one. So it's a really specialised position, and it just breeds confidence. You look at all the good teams down the years; they've always had a good, solid goalie, and I look back in my however many years watching the Blues, and we've probably been blessed in that position as much in my lifetime. The likes of David Seaman, Tony Cope, and people like that, Joe Hart, Ben Foster. We've had great keepers down the years. So it's a vital position.
Absolutely,
yeah. I think we did well to get him, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we did well. There.
Sorry, Nick, your connection's bad. What you say?
We did well to get San Jose as well. To be fair,
I think he had a great game. I did. Yeah, I think he's.
When you think about the players that didn't start the game, Colin was on the bench, Friend was on the bench, Clayton was on the bench, Hogan was on the bench, Beeler was on the bench. These are players that were starting week in, week out not so long ago.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if he puts them back in, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If he puts them back in,
Didn't Hogan start, Paul?
No, Stjukovic started.
Yeah.
Do we think he meant that overhead kick? Do you think that overhead kick was a shot? He's a 6 when he overhead kicked it. Think he went to shoot that?
Yeah. You've got to believe. You've got to believe, Paul.
It wasn't a shot, was it?
You've got to believe. Nigel just says Lako's looking to steal. The Bay Fries are coming in already. Great goalkeeper. Hi everyone. Keep what's on. Said Nicholas. Evening all, says Matthew. What was Barry Fry's pre-seasons like? I don't think we've had that one for a while.
Dunstable Downs and just run up and down Dunstable Downs until you throw up because it was on his doorstep. So that was it really. You'd have to go from Birmingham down there.
Really?
I was lucky really because I didn't do a pre-season with him. He signed me halfway through the season, and then obviously he went at the end of that season, and Trevor came in. But I've spoke to the lads about it. It was just, I don't think there was anything technical about it. It was right, get up them hills and just run till you fall over.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just going back to the keepers as well, Graham's just reiterated that we've always had top keepers, and we've got another one now. Yeah, crikey, yeah,
absolutely.
That's some fantastic.
And you know, a solid defence as well, obviously, as well, doing it, having a solid defence behind you as an attacking player, I'd imagine, again, as well as a good goalkeeper.
Everything's built from the back. I mean, ultimately, your forwards always get the plaudits because at the end of the day, they do the most difficult thing that there is in football. They score goals that win you games. But you know, you're never going to do any good as a team unless you've got a decent defence, midfield, and forward line. You know, you've got to have it all. Yeah. No use having a brilliant defence if you don't score any goals. Yeah. No. So you know, we're going in the right. I'm not getting carried away, but we're going in the right direction at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the old cliche of having two good players for every position, isn't it? And the squad look together, don't they? Even those who aren't starting. Yeah, just look a bit of unity about the whole lot.
And I think Dean and Roberts as well are performing really well at the moment as well. I mean, they're playing really well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Dean's been brilliant.
Yeah.
And Roberts, I think Roberts had a good game, didn't he, Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your centre half pairing's vital. You know, it's like you say. I mean, you need them to be a pair as much as you do if you're playing the front. So you know, it's great to see that. I mean, they've played together a long time now, so they should have a good understanding of each other's games. You know, I've been a bit critical of the pair of them at times down the last year or two, but it looks like they're getting a bit more solid and a bit more togetherness now.
Yeah, and do you think having Everidge goal behind them probably helps a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, if you're confident in the keeper, you know, with regards crosses coming in the box, or if somebody gets through one-on-one, it makes a massive difference. You know, you might just go for those little passes or take those chances that if you weren't quite that confident, you know, you'd probably stay within your comfort zone. So, yeah, obviously they look like they're enjoying playing in front of him, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
That's it. It's just a shame that we miss. It's just a shame we're missing out on everything, isn't it? You know, we're dying to get down there and see him in the flesh, but what can you do?
Yeah. I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't stopped altogether though in the announcement at the weekend. You know, at least we got something. You know, I know it's not the best, but it's better than nothing at all, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. You know, we all miss going down. I mean, I hate watching it on the telly, to be honest, with no crowd there. And we were just saying before we come on air, it must be murder for the players to play in front of empty. You know, I know when I was playing, your big thing, you train all week because you want to run out in front of that. You want to run out in front of that crowd, and you want to feel the atmosphere, and you want to do well for them. So to work all week, and then you're playing in front of an empty-ish stadium, apart from a few people that are there that work for the club. You know, it's got to be hard. Got to be really hard.
Yeah,
definitely. Tony Jones says major difference to me is that we do not panic anymore. We seem to have belief.
Yeah. And Tim Faraday said in chats, we never had a player who spent much time in the middle of the park since Mark Ward till San Jose arrived. He's some player who you keep right on. He certainly is, kid. He certainly is.
Yeah.
Well, if he's half as good as Mark Ward, he'll turn out some player. Mark Ward was a top player.
He was a top player.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah,
he was,
yeah. I think the best I've seen, as well as Mark Ward in that position, is Barry Ferguson as well. In my time, he was a class act.
Yeah, I mean, I played with Fergie for Scotland. He was one of those players that I certainly didn't realise how good he was until I played with him. But you know, always seems to have time on the ball, silky smooth, and top player.
Yeah, loved watching him down the Blues.
Yeah.
Linda says she's dying to see me in the flesh.
More difficult on a Monday. You know, when we've not actually been to the game and you've had to watch it on your phone or on TV or it makes it that much more difficult because you've not experienced what's actually gone on, and you can't take everything in. So it's difficult for us fans as well. It really, really, really is difficult because you know what. Yeah. I tell you, this is going to write the season off, isn't it? This is.
Yeah. You'd think so. I can't see people getting back down there for this season. No way. Not the way it is at the moment.
No, just that journey as well, innit? I mean, I went to the club shop. Last weekend before last week actually, I went to the club shop one of the days because I was off all week, and just that journey driving down the Coventry Road, from the house, and thinking just it's all coming back, innit? going to the game.
It's not just the hour and a half watching the game, is it? It's the build up. It's you getting ready in the morning. It's you travelling down. It's having a couple of beers, watching the game, and going in the pub after. And it's your whole day, isn't it? Really. And then, like you said, when you're watching it on the telly or on your phone, you're only focused on where the ball is. You can't see what's going on off the ball, how he's keeping his shape, or where is somebody overlapping. You're just focused on the ball, so it's it's massive, and people miss it, don't they? People miss it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And when you watch it on Blues TV, it's a couple of seconds beyond real time, isn't it? So you have to turn your phone upside down. Because if we score, the amount of goals that I've been made aware of and I haven't seen live. And then about a minute later, I'll see it on the telly. So I've started turning my phone. I've started turning my phone upside down during the game.
feel like a bit like Chris Kamara, don't you? With the older, did they?
What's going on?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. One player we haven't mentioned yet as well is Ivan Sanchez as well down the right hand side. What do you make of him, Dev, so far? Have you seen?
I haven't seen a lot of him, to be honest. I haven't seen a lot. Like I say, a lot of the time it's on telly. I can't bring myself to watch because it's hard. I find it without the crowd there really boring. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and say he's done great. I haven't seen enough of him, mate. To be honest.
No, sure. Mark, what are your thoughts on him?
I've been really impressed with him. I think he's going to be. Well, when we do get to go again, I think he'll be a real favourite. I mean, hugging that touchline, and you can just imagine the fans behind him. He did thrive on it, I think.
Yeah.
Bit of an upgrade on Montero, I think.
Oh yeah. I think every position that Karanka's signed a player in to improve us, he's done that, hasn't he? In every position that he's signed a player for.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Montero. I know he got a lot of stick, but the one thing I will say about him, at times. He was the only wide player that would get to the byline. You never see. It drives me mad now. You see these wide players playing on their opposite side and cutting in all the time. I used to love like a Stan Lazaridis or someone like that who's going to get down the outside, get to the byline and stand one up. And when you got someone like Duke in the team, you need that. So,
There you go.
A few little technical issues there, sorry about that.
Now you get one that goes on it. Yeah, goes on the outside and actually whips across in the
you froze then, Dev, for a minute.
No, he's back now.
You're back now?
Oh, yeah.
He's back.
The signal's not great.
No.
So, and then Huddersfield, obviously, that was a good result as well, wasn't it? And loving Craig Gardner's vocals as well when the winner went in.
Yeah. Give it eat from here, couldn't you?
Yeah. That's great, though. It's got to be that sort of passion, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's how you want your players to be, and he's on a good little run of form at the minute, isn't
he? Yeah.
Weren't the best performance though, was it? Well, the main thing we won.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how you win, mate. That's all that matters to me. It's just that result at the end.
And you know what? You still get fans that moan, don't you? Even when we
I had a couple of more mates saying, we only had 30% possession and we only had this. There's only one stat that matters, how many you've scored and how many they've scored.
That's right.
And that final whistle.
Exactly,
that's the only thing.
Yeah.
To be honest,
my neighbour hated me the weekend, cheering our win like a mad woman when his team lost. Nice one. I'm sure we all know who she means.
Yeah. Mark?
Sorry, I was just going to say, going on about the performance and so on, I couldn't believe the amount of negativity already by some so-called fans. The moaning and, he's been here 5 minutes, Cranker.
Yeah.
Some are saying,
it even took Klopp and Guardiola a couple of transfer windows, didn't it? To get to that level that they're at.
Yeah.
You've got to give them at least a season, but it's been ridiculous, some of the outpouring. It's been a joke.
It doesn't happen anymore, though, does it? It doesn't happen anymore. It's two bad games, or one bad game, or two bad games in Dean Smith's case. That's it. I want you out.
Yeah, it's modern football, I'm afraid.
Like Deb said, though, you've got to build from the back, and that's what he's doing. He's building from the back. And now we're starting to, you can tell that they've been working more now going forward after the last couple of games, can't you? Whereas before, it was more defensive. Now it's that balance is coming in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, Nick.
Sorry, Nick.
I'm happy with what I'm saying.
Yeah, last couple of games have been better. I mean, first half against Huddersfield, we played well. We could have been a couple of goals up in that game, if you remember. Hogan had the one-on-one, and then Beela's free kick at the post. And then the rebound from Friend could have gone in, obviously was cleared off the line. And then we eventually score. So, we did have the better of the chances against Huddersfield. I thought we deserved the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it weren't too long ago. Huddersfield were in the Prem. I think people are forgetting that.
Oh, yeah. Good side, yeah. Still a good side.
A good side.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
This is one of the hardest leagues in the world, isn't it? You played in the Championship and the Premier League.
Yeah.
Would you say it's harder to get out the Championship than to stay in the Premier League?
Definitely. I think if you look at the Championship every season, you could pick probably 10 teams that could be there or thereabouts, and then there'll always be 1 or 2 teams that surprise you and get up there. But people, you saw the pace and that in the Premiership. I found it far quicker and far more physical in the Championship. The differences in the Premiership is just at either end. You might get a couple of chances in the Championship. You might only get 1 chance. They're just more clinical. Premiership is just more clinical at either end of the pitch. Physically, it's easier than the Championship, I think, by a country mile.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've got a lot of messages coming in. One here from Stab Smith. Hello, my friend Paul Devlin. Paul, just want to know when you were going to pay me for his 2 pints of Guinness. You had a big fella all those years ago, and we went on a session. You turned up at St Mary's and St John's about 12 noon with not a penny in your pocket. Good old days, mate.
I used to do that regularly at St Mary's and John's. No, that was great times. It was when I first really started playing football when I was about 17 for St Mary's and John's. A mate of mine, his dad, Joe Brennan, God rest his soul, started up a team. And
yeah, rest him, Joe.
We all started playing, and that was my first sort of first way into football, really.
Can't be bad. Was it worth the 2 pints of Guinness?
Definitely. It was only 2. Hey, let me tell you, if you only bought me 2, he had a cheap day.
And a good comment here from Steve Portman. It could be worse. Look at Forest. Newton is struggling to lift them. That's absolutely true, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Derby.
Pete says they're panic buying cabbage.
Sorry again, missed that.
Pete Taylor says they're panic buying cabbages in B6.
Oh, cabbages, yeah.
Cabbages, yeah.
And off
got a sort of fake crowd, don't they, down there?
Yeah. Off the field question from Grain Hounds, what do you think of departures at St Andrews, Colin Tatum, etc.?
Oh, yeah.
What do I think of the departure of Colin Tatum?
He said etc. Obviously.
Yeah, it's sad. I've known Tats and Rita for a long, long time, and they've been at the club. And obviously Rita's been there a number of years, but Tats has been there a few years. But obviously before that, he was the correspondent for the Evening Mail and the Argus. So Blues fan, big Blues connection. I think it's always sad when you see Blues people leaving the club that they love. I mean, obviously I'm not privy to what's gone on. No. Why these moves have been made, but it's never nice to see anybody lose the job, especially in the times we're in today. So I dropped Tats a little text and had a chat with him the other day and just wished him all the best. He's a good fella, Tats, and I wish him all the best for the future.
He's Blues through and through, anyway. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Ray Hobro says, but Nick, while we're on the subject of beer, I need my forward. I'll be back one day, Ray. I'll be back one day. Kev Kelly, Paul Devlin, who's your choice now, Houghton or Karanka, or is it all about his signings?
Who's my choice for manager, Houghton or Karanka?
Yeah, Kev Kelly says, who's your choice now, Houghton or Karanka, or is it all about the signings?
He might be talking to me there, because I said I wanted Houghton at the start of the season.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
But Dev, if you wanted Houghton as well, you can answer by all means.
I'll be honest with you. If you give me the choice, I'd have probably gone Houghton as well. Just simply for the fact of how well he done before.
Yeah.
Not now though.
Yeah.
I think they're both good enough given time to take us to the Premier League eventually if they're given time and obviously full control of
time and money.
Time and money.
They're both quality, aren't they?
Yeah,
definitely. Saying that though, right? What have we spent? About 3 million. 2 million on average and $1 million on Lecco, and everybody else was free, weren't they?
Free, yeah.
So would you be complaining if we'd have spent say 12 million on the players that we've got so far from what you've seen?
I don't think you would.
No.
No?
No.
I don't think you would.
Really?
No, I don't think you would.
I'd have still been happy, to be honest.
Mm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still been fairly happy, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's right. Paul,
We've got to at least bold, haven't we? We've got to be real about this. We've not been kicked off now. And we've got Wick Wanderers at home on, is it Tuesday night, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we don't batter them and get 6 goals, Chris Brown,
Yeah.
then I might be a little bit concerned.
Look, I'm looking forward to doing this in the nude. It doesn't bother me, unless it gets a bit colder. I mean, it's freezing in It's freezing in here tonight. I'm not joking. It's absolutely freezing.
It's the Lord for Zoom, that's what I can say.
Yeah. I might have a wide-angled lens on that night as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Pete Taylor makes a good point. Hogan cost some. We don't know what Hogan cost, do we? But I'd imagine he was at least a couple of million as well, wasn't he? So we probably spent about 5.
I thought the price was released. I thought it was something like 900,000.
Anybody knows how much Hogan cost? Please let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Well, Villa paid a lot of money for him.
Wednesday we've got Wick Wanderers. Saturday, fine.
Yeah, they paid a hell of a lot.
About 12 million, wasn't it, they bought him for?
They paid big dough for him, I think, the Villa.
Yeah. We've got a few questions. Or should we do the fans' questions?
Let's go to the questions.
Of course, helps out, mate.
Go on, Paul.
Sorry, Nick, what was that?
Yeah, helps out.
Yeah, no worries. So, Dev, a few questions coming for you. So, Stephen Gill's asking, what was your favourite goal of all time? I presume he means that you scored.
Oh, that I've scored. I mean, everyone always talks to me about the Leeds goal because it was the first Premiership goal at St Andrews. But there's 2 really. I scored in about 97. It was goal of the season away at QPR where I've sort of chested it, I thied it and volleyed it in from about 25 yards. And I scored one against Bradford the one day where I think we won 3-2 or 3-1. And somebody's played, I think Jonathan Hunt's played the ball in. I've had a little touch, flicked it over and volleyed it in. So those 2 probably stand up. But I'd probably say the QPR one. QPR way down Loftus Road.
Yeah, I like your Wolves one as well. The volley at the far stick.
Yeah, the Wolves
volley,
yeah. Outside of the foot. That was funnily enough, that was my last game on loan from Sheffield United. And I nearly went back to Sheffield United after that game.
Yeah. And are they your favourite goals, like in your whole career, or just for Blues, or have you got any better goals that you scored for anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky really. I managed to get a few for Notts County, a few good ones, and a few good ones for Sheffield United. So it's really difficult to pick one out. You know, but a big regret was that I never managed to get one at international level. But you know, to get the first Premiership goal at St Andrews will always be something that that I'll be very, very, very proud of.
And Paul Gill's asking, what was your favourite blue shirt design that you played in? And there's 2 questions from Paul Gill. And if you could send a referee off, who would you choose?
There'd be 2 referees. It'd be it'd be Ellery and Clattenburg.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd love to 50-50 the 2 of them in one go. To be honest with you, I just arrogant. I didn't like either of them. And my favourite blue shirt. I like that one that we was on about earlier, the Penguin one. But the first one that I played in, and my dad will go mad at me because it looked a bit like a Rangers shirt at the time, but the round neck one, and Phil Barnett, a pal of mine, actually gave me the shirt the other week. So that was probably my favourite shirt, actually.
Yeah,
that was the first.
Yeah, we'd like the Vicar collar on.
Yeah. That was the first one that I played in. So that one really.
Yeah. And Lee Cripps is asking thoughts on the managers you played under at Blues. So obviously you played for Barry Fry, Trevor Francis, and Steve Bruce, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, Baz was brilliant. Very, very rare that you'll find anyone with a bad word to say about Baz. Just one of the game's characters. Obviously, but was well documented that never really got on with Trevor. It was a shame. Trevor was he's God down there. But saying that, I had 18 form-wise, I had 18 really good months under him down there. And Bruce was brilliant. I love Brucey. I had 18 months with him as a player. I had over a year with him as a manager at Sheffield, and then he brought me back in a fantastic sort of couple of year period for the club, and it was great to be involved in that period where we were out the Premiership for 16 years to get back up, stop up comfortably. A couple of memorable performances against the Villa in that as well. So brilliant, just happy days, great days. But Brucey was great. Neil Warnock as well. Neil Warnock's a big favourite of mine. I played for Neil twice as well, and Neil's very Marmite. People love him or hate him, but I think a lot of players that played for him, you know, that they'll speak very highly of Neil.
Yeah. And
Andy nearly got the Blues job on a couple of times down the years. He was very, very close on getting the Blues job 2 or 3 occasions because Karen and David Sullivan really liked him. And I always say to this day, if he'd have got, you know, all them years under Trevor where we just couldn't quite get over the line when it was Barnsley, Preston, Watford, I think Neil would have got us over the line. You look at his record; I think he's the most promoted manager out the Championship, isn't he? Yeah. So I think he was unlucky on a couple of occasions that he didn't get the job at Blues.
Yeah, and Paul Tweet's asking who was the biggest influence on your career?
Oh God, that's a good one. I think managers. I'd say Neil because Neil gave me my chance from non-league when. You know, I'd had trials at Derby, I'd had trials at Oxford, and they'd said no, not quite good enough. And Neil took a chance on me at 19. So Neil, obviously, you know, my dad was a big influence growing up. You know, playing non-league football, and there was a coach that I had in non-league called Brian Kenny, and he was with Chris Wright, who was manager of Stafford Rangers, who were fantastic. You know, my best man at my wedding, Joe Nugent, he had a team called Armitage 90. So, you know, a lot of the ones from my non-league days. Tony Capaldi's dad, who played for Blues and Cardiff and that, Shuggy, you know, he was a big influence on me. Played a lot of non-league and Sunday football with him, fit as a fiddle, done everything right. So, you know, it'd be really unfair to pick one out because I think you try and take positives from all the people that you work with. You know, when I used to train with Trevor, and Trevor used to join in training, and he was in his 50s then, and he was still the best player in training. You know, so you try and take little bits from all of them. Steve Bruce, you know, legend of the game, and real top bloke, proper geezer. So, but I was fortunate, really. I came across some really, really good people down the years and played with some, you know, really good people. Met some lifelong friends out the game.
Yeah, and John Smith wants you to settle an argument. He's asking, at any point, were you a postman in Perry Common?
Postman?
Yeah.
No. I went to Perry Common School. It's not called Perry Common School. It's called North Birmingham Academy now. But I did go to Perry Common School, but I wasn't a postman.
Unless I saw you trying to get something out of the post boxes.
Yeah, mate, that's probably more like it.
Scott Rowe saying, playoff final for Norwich. Did you pick your spot for your penalty or just hit and hope?
No, I always just hit and hope. I never picked a spot. My thinking was, I always tended to go to the keepers. The only time I ever went the opposite side was when I took one for Sheffield United against Blues at Bramall Lane, and Benno was in goal. And I thought, he knows where I put. So I always used to, my thing was hit them hard. And I always used to either smash them down the middle or to my left, the keeper's right. So the only ever time I put it to the left, I had to put it to the left against Benno. But I always, my sort of thinking with it, if you hit it hard, he's not going to hold it. He can't hold it. If you try and send him the wrong way and roll it in and be clever and have one of these daft run-ups, he's got a chance of holding it. And I was lucky, you know, I scored a lot more than I only missed a couple down the years. But I just used to blast it to my left, really.
Yeah, unstoppable most of them were, weren't they, to be honest? Yeah, sorry, Nick.
Going back to the playoff final, Dev.
Mike Hill is saying good evening from South Africa. He's running a bit. Gregor is saying good evening from Porthcawl. We've got somebody else on from Scotland. So we're going worldwide again. Right, sorry, put the mark off again.
No, it's all right. I was going to say, Devs, going back to the playoff final, did you practice the penalties?
Yeah, religiously for you know, a good couple of weeks. The lads that were down to take them, you know, every day after training, we'd be practicing them. You know, we'd stay out for an hour and listen. I don't think it would have made any difference if we'd have practiced them 100 times or none. You take a penalty in front of the lads on the training ground. It's a lot different to taking it in front of 75,000 people with millions of people watching. But we had some really good penalty takers, and I was quite confident when it went to penalties. I mean, I know it's always a lottery, but you know, we had some lads who could take a penalty. So you know, I wouldn't say I was certain, but I was confident that we could win it.
And we had a nice big keeper in Nico. We had a nice big keeper in Nico Vasson as well, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, when you're walking up to take a penalty in the playoff final, the keeper, you know, all the keepers look about 12 foot tall and about 15 foot wide, and the goal looks about that big. Yeah. Nico was a big imposing lad. Nico, you know, when he's standing there like that, You know, it would have been difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Great
Mark.
question, just Luke Acton a few minutes ago. I'd love to pick up on this one if you don't mind, Paul. And you can go back to questions, yeah? Deb,
Go on, mate.
do you remember the second game where Gary was virtually unplayable? What a performance, best I've seen down the Blues.
Which game?
Southampton game where Gary was absolutely
I do. I remember the game, and you know, he was an unbelievable talent, Chris, and real good fella as well. Real nice bloke and great to have about the place. And I just, you know, I've said it a few times. I think he was that season where we stopped up comfortable and we did the double over the Villa. He was like the cherry on the cake that season to get a World Cup winner and a European Championship winner and someone of his pedigree to come and just, you know, play out the last throws of his career with us was unbelievable. I mean, it was completely out the blue as well. None of the players knew he was coming. It wasn't like, oh, he's coming, no, he's not, he's coming. It was just one day he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you look back,
Paul.
I was just going to say, when you look back at that team that we had then, I mean, you know, that transfer window in 2003, when we signed Upson, Clapham, Clements, Gary, you know, that team that we finished that season with was just great, wasn't it? Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I think his first few signings, Brucey, when we got up, were great. You know, I think Upson and Cunningham were massive because they formed a great partnership at the back. You know, Matty was very quick, very physical, and Kenny was just read the game so well. So I think Brucey's first few transfer window, and obviously later on he bought Sav in, and Sav was brilliant for a couple of years, wasn't he? So I think he did well, and I think as time went on, then, you know, your Gronkiars, your people like that, it maybe wasn't so good. But I think his first couple of transfer windows were you know, he bought really, really well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. And Siobhan Kenny's asking, what was your three favourite memories you have whilst playing for Blues, and why?
I think obviously, Mike, you know, first of all, signing from being someone that's been down there watching to actually, you know, get the chance to play. I mean, it was unfortunate. I lost on my debut against Sunderland 1-0. Opened my trap too early as well. That's a good Barry Fry story. Yeah, I was up against Andy Melville that day, and I'd played against him for Notts County about 2 weeks before. Scored 2 goals, and we'd won 3-1 or 3. I've murdered him the other week after we lose 1-0, and Andy Melville scores probably his only goal he scored in 20 years. So Baz, you can imagine what Baz said to me after the game. But then I think the next game was a Monday or a Tuesday night, Wolves at home, and it was like sell-out, muddy pitch at St Andrews, you know, big derby, because obviously we'd been out the top league for all those years. So we won 2-0 and I got both the goals. So it was great to get off to a good start. So I think that the playoff final, and then I'd say scoring the goal against Leeds was great, but the 3-0 Villa game. So they'd be the three. They'd be the three that stand out for me.
Yeah. And what did you do after that one? After we beat Villa 3-0, you straight down. What was the?
I think me and Norse ended up in the Meerkat.
Okay.
I think I was dancing naked on a pool table at about 4 in the morning. So yeah, we went out for it. It was funny because me and Norse always used to get changed next to each other because we used to go out and have a booze together. I remember Brucey saying, pointing at us, "You two, be careful tonight. Watch where you go." Yeah, okay, Gaffer. Well, nice. I was out till about 7 o'clock the next morning. But yeah.
And many happy returns to him as well. Many happy returns to him as well for yesterday. It was his birthday, wasn't it, yesterday?
Yeah, 47.
The Meerkat was great though, wasn't it, Paul? Because that was the one where all the people from the market used to go, wasn't it? So it was open at
we only ended up there because Chris, right? Because everywhere else had shut, and that always opened early for the market trade.
For the market trade as
well. So that's where we went. We knew we could still carry on there.
That was a great old boozer. That was a great old boozer. Any more?
Then final question now from Jim Owen. He's just asking how you're feeling a few days after deciding to. Have you hung up your boots now altogether? Can you not play anymore at all?
No, I'm struggling. Basically, they've told me my hip's absolutely wrecked. So I haven't hung them up, but I'm in a lot of pain with it. And if I play now, I'm literally can't walk for a day or two after. So no, I mean, listen, I don't think I'll ever say I'm going to hang them up, but it's, you know, the wear and tear that my body's took down the years is starting to really take its toll now. And the last sort of 6 or 7 months with my hip, it's deteriorated really bad. I've had scans on it and X-rays on it, and basically it's knackered. So I don't know how much longer I'll be able to have a run around for.
Ray wants to know, whose boots did you clean, and do you remember who cleaned yours?
Well, I didn't clean anyone's boots because I never did an apprenticeship.
Ah, right.
I only cleaned my own because I was 19 when I signed. And the two boot boys I had at Blues the first time, AJ was one. AJ was my boot boy. Tony Capaldi as well. He was my boot boy. They're the two that I can remember. Sean Derry, he was my boot boy at Notts County. Deza.
Wow.
Went on to have a fantastic career. Played with him at Sheffield. The second time I come back, I can't remember. They're the three that stand out in my mind, and all went on to have good careers in the game as well.
As far as I'm concerned, Jackie Barton's just said she'll give you a massage if you want.
That's it.
I bet you would as well. I bet you would. Yeah.
Right, Wickham on Wednesday. Let's have your predictions for this one. Mr. Rowe, off you go first.
I'm going to stick my neck out. I think we'll win 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
Mr. Hipkin.
1-0.
2.
Us.
Blues, right.
1-0.
Chris?
Yeah, 1-0.
Well, I'm going to go for my third 2-1 win in a row. I'll be lucky.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
Dev's what?
I'm going to go 2-0. I think 2-0. 2-0 Blues.
Yeah. Craig Courtney saying 2-0. Gregory Bleasley 3-1. I'm going to go a cheeky, very cheeky 4-0.
4-0.
Wow.
Linda's gone for 6-0.
Surprise.
Paul McCarthy's gone for 2-0. So all looking positive. 3-2 from Stephen Gill. So everybody thinks we're gonna spawn 4-2 from Blues from Jackie. There we go.
Do we think McGree will start again?
Yeah.
You would start him.
Yeah, I think so. After the way
Australian,
he played at
isn't
Preston.
he?
Yeah.
He's Australian, that isn't he?
Yeah.
He's Australian, yeah.
Yeah, very impressed, yeah.
Yeah. And he scored, didn't he, Mark? He scored as well, didn't he? So I don't think
took it well as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If
he is, sorry, I was going to say, if he is a success, do you think there's any way that his move to America will be off and we'll keep him?
No.
You think he'll go regardless?
I think we're just a stepping stone by the sounds of it. I think he's isn't it strange that a club like ours is now a stepping stone
to Charlotte,
to clubs in America of all places that was the backwaters not so long ago. That really bugs me. That really does.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe he's not talking from a footballing point of view. He might just mean where he's going to live and stuff.
no, I don't think so.
What do you mean? You don't want to live in Birmingham? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, it's lovely. Nothing wrong with Birmingham.
Yeah.
Luke, what's happened to Crawley? Completely out of favour. Oh, sorry, Nick. I'm talking over you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's so difficult on Zoom. It's not easy, guys, but do bear with us. And we're having a few little technical bits at the minute with the lines dropping and one thing and another.
Yeah, you're
so just bear with us. Luke saying, what's happened to Crawley? Completely out of favour. I don't know.
Yeah, what has happened to Crawley?
Dan Crowley, he's he's had a couple of chances, hasn't he, this season? Have you seen much of him, Dev, since he's been here, Dan Crowley?
Yeah, I haven't. I've been a bit. To be fair, I've been a bit critical of him at times. I think a lot of the time he flatters to deceive. Very busy, but doesn't end product. And what's he? A bit of a five-a-side player. We'd call him a five-a-side player. So yeah, I'm surprised he's not in the team. Not really.
There's a player in there somewhere, but he doesn't seem to sort of grab his chance, does he?
No, I mean, obviously the kid's got ability. You can see when he's on the ball that he's got ability, but I'd rather him be doing it 30 yards further forward and either it resulting in a shot at goal or a cross and someone else getting on the end of it. But I think he does a lot. He does a lot of his work in that no man's land where defenders and midfielders are going to say, "Well, go on, do what you want to do there. You're not really going to. You're not going to hurt me." So
No.
I'd rather see him further up the pitch doing a bit more damage to the other team.
Do you think what he's lacking? Do you think what he's lacking could be coached into him?
Listen, obviously, coaching always helps. Coaching. I mean, how old is he now?
Only about 23.
He's not very old.
23, yeah.
Born of November 1988. Happy birthday to him today.
His birthday
What's
today.
that?
It's his birthday today.
Riley McGree, born 2nd of December 1988. Happy birthday.
Oh, right. Okay.
From Dave Twine.
Okay.
Yeah. So that makes him 22, isn't it?
Yeah.
28,
Sorry, Dev, you was going to say, Dev, about coaching. Yeah, sorry, mate.
I mean, obviously, coaching, good coaching is always good for any player. But I think at 22, 23, you should know what you're about. You should know what you need to be doing within reason. And I just feel that he takes that option of going and getting the ball in positions that never really, or a lot of the time don't affect the game. The kid's obviously got ability. You can see he wouldn't be a professional footballer if he didn't have ability. But I want to see him, making an impact on the game, really, a little bit more than what he does. And listen, he's not in the team for a reason, isn't he? Obviously, Karanka's seen him every day in training. Like I say, he's had a couple of chances. So maybe he's already formed his opinion of him.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
Stephen Gill says, I think Dan Crowley will be gone in January. Tim Faraday, Crowley has been played in the wrong position, should be just Duke. And Steve Portman is currently injured.
No, he played for the under-23s. Was it?
The other
was
day,
it? Yeah, the other day.
Back, so we'll just watch out for that one, I think.
Maybe
Unless he got injured playing for the under-23s.
Yeah, unless it's just Steve Portman that's injured.
Oh, yeah.
Because he just says Steve Portman, injured.
Yeah. Lost in translation, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to see Jude playing regularly for Dortmund, says John Smith. Yeah. We've moved on.
Yeah, he's gone to a good club, hasn't he? There,
they'll look after him. Yeah. They'll look after him well. He'll do.
He made a good choice, didn't he?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Sensible choice.
Yeah. And
John Terrell was in, apparently, is from Steve Portman, so that's an update on that one.
John Terrell's injured, yeah.
Weekend.
Sorry?
Did Shay Adams start for Southampton?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe he did, yeah.
I wondered when
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing well now, isn't he? He's doing all right now.
Yeah. I think he's playing regular, isn't he? I think he's in more than he's out now.
He didn't score though, did he? He didn't score. He wasn't.
No, he didn't.
No.
Yeah.
I think his arm hair was offside, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Tim Croucher Faraday says, Dev, have you seen Josh Andrews in the 23s? He looks tidy.
No, I haven't. I've heard a couple of people mention him, but I haven't personally seen anything of him.
He's that striker, and he's a big tall lad up front.
There's been talk of him getting a chance, hasn't there?
Yeah.
The last few weeks. So I mean, listen, anybody coming through the homegrown lads, you want to see them get in the team, don't you? You look back down the years with Jude and Redmond and Damari Gray. They're the type of lads you want to see coming through.
Just coming back to Bellingham, Wayne Humphries is asking if you played with his dad in non-league.
No, I played against him loads of times, Mark. Yeah, but great finisher, non-league goal scorer. I actually played against him a couple of weeks ago. You can tell his dad's obviously been a big influence on him. But I think his dad scored hundreds of goals in non-league. But funny enough, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he played against Bellingham.
Yeah, he's got a really good record, hasn't he, Nick?
It's over 700, isn't it?
Yeah, he scored a lot of goals.
Steve Job wants to know, Devs, what was it like in the tunnel before the Blues Villa game in 2002?
Oh, brilliant! We terrified him I mean, I've told you this story before, but we terrified him in the tunnel. We had Grange and Horse and myself and all that. We was smashing the tunnel and shouting and bawling, and especially their foreign lads, they were just looking as if to say, these bunch of nutcases there. And we had them, and if you get Jeff on or Grange or people like that, they'll tell you we had that game beat before we walked out the tunnel. We had them beat before we walked out the tunnel that night. Yeah, terrified them in the tunnel.
What was it like waiting around all day to play that game as well? Because just the build up to it, because
I remember I did quite a lot of press with Jono and who was the foreign kid that played that was really disparaging about us? Malberg.
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 Yeah,
he was really condescending. That, and we did that. Me and Jono and Malberg and Ian Taylor. Ian Taylor's a good lad, to be fair. And the build up to it was all week, and you were doing an interview, and you just want it out of the way because it had been that long. And it's obviously the first one's at St Andrews. You just want to get it done, dusted, and hopefully win the game. And to win it the way we did, and then obviously the Enkelman thing and 3-0. And I've got to say, it's probably the best atmosphere I remember at St Andrews playing. I felt like the whole ground was moving. So it was brilliant. And then obviously to get the return leg out the way and then do them again. It was the perfect double, really. That first game was unbelievable. Just the whole build up to it, and I saw Clinton interviewed on Talk Sport. Somebody put something on Twitter, and even he was saying he didn't realise, because obviously he's a London kid, how big that game was. And he said, look, the lead up to the game and then driving to the ground. And he said, I realised how big the Blues Villa game was. And I think you get a lot of the lads who are not from Birmingham.
Yeah,
they don't really see it.
I think they're shocked.
I think. And then when they're playing it, they realise it's it's a big game.
It's massive.
Yeah,
it's massive.
Yeah.
It's a massive game.
Yeah, I just remember the floor bouncing below me when we were 3-0 up with about 4 minutes to go. Yeah. And we were all singing "We play you every week," and it was just amazing.
So enjoyable, wasn't it?
Great times.
You're going back to the tunnel episode. I mean, that would have been great if that would have been videoed, Paul, wouldn't it? That build up, you could play that every week. Then that would have been fantastic.
To be fair, we had some lads in that team that could play and that could kick a little bit as well. Some aggressive lads in there. So you can imagine, we're all in the tunnel. We're all pumped up to the nines, the adrenaline's going and it's like you're banging and you're swearing and you're shouting. Yeah. And like I say, a couple of them, I think, like Larson and Melbourne, they're just looking, what's going on here? But it was great.
I think Grange must be
you couldn't have wrote the script for a better outcome with that game, really. If somebody said when we got promoted, right, you're going to play Villa, you're going to beat them 3-0. The keeper's going to make a mistake that's going to be remembered forever.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have believed people, would you?
And another day named after him.
Yeah.
We name it day after, don't we?
Yes, oh yeah.
Luke Hatton said, ours is the only derby that kicks off at 12 on a Sunday, capacity reduced. To know the derby in the country has that, and that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's a shame, yeah.
Yeah.
It really,
I just remember I was working in Castle Vale in 2002, and I just remember, but it was only me and one other bloke in the whole place, and there was a good 200 people worked at the place I worked at Betterware, and there was only me and one other bloke that were Blues fans. Everyone else was Villa, so it was just so good to go in the next day. It was just unbelievable. It was brilliant. Yeah.
Me and my mates were offering the fans tissues.
Yeah.
I love that. Question for Devs from Ray. What was your first game to attend at Blues as a kid, as a fan?
Do you know what? I think it was in the early 80s. Oh, God, you're going back a lot. My memory's not great. And I think we played Ipswich, and it was that really good Ipswich team with Mariner and Alan Brazil and all Eric Gates. Eric Gates. So it would have been early 80s against Ipswich. I think we lost about 3 or 4-1. I mean, like I say, my memory's not brilliant, but I remember it was a real John Walk, Russell Osman.
They had a great team. They had a great team.
It was one of the best. That year that Villa won the league, Ipswich actually beat them twice in the league.
Yeah,
Ipswich sort of threw that league away that year.
Yeah, that's right.
And John Smith wants to know, Dev, did you get to go to Celtic much?
Yeah, I used to be in the Celtic supporters club as well, me and my dad. So we used to go up the Gothic pub that was in Hockley in town next to the Minerva Vaults. We used to go up every other week to home games. So we'd alternate. So I go up there. There used to be some fun journeys on that minibus up to Glasgow. So I used to get up there a lot. Been to a couple of Celtic Rangers Cup finals, few derbies. So
I bet they're tasty, aren't they? I bet they were tasty.
Well, let me tell you,
nothing like it, I suppose.
If ever anyone gets the chance, I mean, obviously I didn't. One. If ever you chance to go to an Old Firm derby, I highly recommend it. It's something that you do. It's unique.
different.
Did you ever get linked then to any Scottish teams?
No, not really. I mean, somebody told me that I was linked with Celtic once, but I don't remember it really. So no, not as far as I know.
Mm.
What about playing abroad, Dev? Were you ever linked to anyone abroad?
Yeah, I mean, there was talk at one time of Torino. Torino wanted to sign me, before I left Blues. It was probably about 6 or 7 months before I left Blues. Graham Souness was the manager then, and he had me on trial up at Liverpool when I was 19. So there was a little bit of talk of that. Obviously didn't materialise. And then at the end of my career, when I was leaving Watford, I could have gone to America and played in America for, I can't remember which. It was one of the New York teams. Yeah. But I didn't fancy it.
Mm. What? Even the money?
You didn't fancy swapping Sutton Coldfield for New York?
No, listen, it was either go and play for one of the New York teams or sign for Warsaw.
No contest. No contest. It's Warsaw every day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Did you score the fastest goal
what is
as well,
the funniest?
Hang on, Nick. Go on, Nick.
Sorry, mate.
Go on.
Sorry, Nick.
What is the funniest Barry Fry story you can tell us without going over the top? One that we've not heard before.
I remember, and it wasn't at the club actually. I remember. Am I allowed to swear or not?
Yeah. Just don't say the F word.
No.
Okay.
No.
Right. I remember going to a do at Sutton Town, and Baz was speaking. So it wasn't actually at the club.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, Sutton's a big villa area, so it was all full of blue noses this night. And Baz has come on, and Baz don't care if there's women and children in the room. He F's and blinds his way through everything. So he's telling his stories and he's having his jokes and all that. And this one bloke, Blues fan, at the front, kept going, what about Ricky Otto? What about Ricky Otto? Ricky Otto? And he just kept barracking Baz. So in the end, Baz has stopped in the middle of what he's doing. And he's reeled off. He said, Liam Dyche, Gary Breen, he's reeled off about 10 players that he bought for 100 grand and sold for $1 million plus.
Yeah.
And he's gone, you're the only... Always reminds me about the one that I paid £1 million for and turned him into a 100 grand player. Right? And everyone just burst out laughing. But this bloke just kept barracking him about Ricky Otto. But he anything like that, Baz, was great. And to be fair, he laughed it off and they had the crack about it. But I mean, there's a million things with Baz. I mean, running through the hotel doors, banging the lads because he got pissed at a wedding reception, banging the doors in the middle of the night, and he got to get up and play the next day. Tatey tells me a great story when they played in Italy.
Drunk.
Tatey said he's half jumped out of tackle. Yeah. So he says Baz is running up and down the line doing chicken noises, calling him a chicken, and he's running up and down calling him a fat so and so. But you couldn't fall out with Baz. You could have a proper row with him, and then 10 minutes later he'd be arm round you buying you a drink. But he was great, Baz.
Yeah. Do you get to speak to him at all, Baz, at all?
Now and again, mate. Yeah, I see him now and again. We might be at certain games together, and he'll come over and give me a hug and how are you getting on and have a chat. I mean, you do see him on the circuit, at different games. So it's great to see him. He's always good fun, Baz.
Still the same.
Right.
No, hang on. 1 minute. The other week when Savage was on?
Yeah.
Savage was on. And you're going to organise that day for him to come out onto the centre circle.
Yeah.
When we all get back, yeah? Can you organise Baz to come on this for us, please? It would just be the funny.
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to him after he did the show, and I said, "Come down," but he still thinks he'd get a bit of stick. And I said, "Sav, I don't think. I think you'd get a great reception."
Oh, no, man, he's a veg.
Yeah, I think you get a, and I know Sav well. We roomed together for a year or two, and he's a proper guy. He's a real nice fella, good lad. But it would break his heart if he got down there and they booed him. Though I've got to tell you, it would break his heart.
No. I don't think they would. I don't think you'll get a few.
What?
But,
I think that hour and a half on this show did him the world of good.
Yeah,
I promise you that.
Yeah.
I really mean.
Yeah, and I think looking back, he regrets the way he left. I had a similar situation when I left Sheffield to come back to Blues.
Yeah,
I just signed a 4-year contract there, and I didn't probably conduct myself in the best way because I wanted to get back to Blues. He wanted to get up to Blackburn because Mark Bowen and Mark Hughes were there, and I think he freely admitted it on the show. He didn't conduct himself as he'd want his lad to do. His lad's in the game now. If his lad was to behave the way he behaved, but it's water under the bridge, and I just think, we had 2 or 3 years where he was our best player by a million miles, and I never mind the last 6 months the way it finished. Think of the time that he gave us before that.
Exactly.
I still saw stuff on social media where people will say, "Well, no, I'll never forgive him," blah blah blah, and he's this and he's that, and I just think, think of the good times that he give you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you did come out on the halfway line, if you did come out with him on the halfway line, Dave, you'd have to have another wrestling match, wouldn't you?
Listen, I wrestled him. I tell you what, 30 times, right? 30 wins. He was useless. He was absolutely useless. It would always end up in me getting on top of him, strangling him until he give up, and then I could go to bed. Then he'd be all right. Let's go to bed now. So it was anybody that would walk in. I mean, the gaffer would have gone mad for this. I mean, obviously Sav was his big signing, top player. Imagine him walking in and I've got him. He was always naked, by the way.
Oh no!
What's going on?
I'm not going to be able to unsee that now.
He'd back to the room so he could hide somewhere, and then he'd jump out on me like the Pink Panther. But he'd always be undressed for some reason.
Yeah, Lindsay's just said, how's the naked wrestling going?
Brilliant.
Nigel Mann said Savage had a chat with him and signed my programme rather than warm up. The guy was going nuts.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, if you back, and that was great. But if you could have a word with Baz and get Barry Fry, I'd just love to chat for an hour and a half.
Oh yeah. Well, it wouldn't. The thing is, it wouldn't be an hour and a half, would it? It would go on for days.
Oh yeah, we'd have to start at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'd have to have a permanent bleeper ready to,
Yeah. Listen, he don't mind his P&Qs for anybody.
No, I know he don't. No.
He says it the way he says. He's not minding his manners for anyone.
No.
Quick question. Did you score the fastest goal at St Andrews as well for us, or was it somebody else?
No, I did. I think I don't know whether it was at St Andrews. I think it's about the third, 16 seconds against Luton. I know Brian Hughes got the quickest one because it was the first one of the millennium, wasn't it? He got one in about 10 seconds away. But funnily enough, Colin Tatton did say, I think there was one other goal quicker than that at St Andrews, but I think it's in the top 3 quickest goal. I always remember as well, Luton. I was playing up front with Pesh. Took the centre, knocked it back to Grange. Grange just put a great through ball over and I've nipped in. So, yeah, 16 seconds.
16 seconds, yeah. Wow. Brilliant.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Steve Palmer says Barry Fry's ace. I loved him at the 140th do.
Yeah, that was a great night.
Yeah, that was a great night, yeah. Graham Brown says getting Dublin sent off was brilliant. That's going back to Savage. Yeah. Did they ever?
Yeah,
they did make up later on, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they must have.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was really out of character for Dublin, wasn't it? He wasn't that type of player, but I just think Sav had that effect on people on the pitch. He was such a wind-up merchant.
Oh yeah.
That I think he just got under Dublin's skin. I mean, I still don't know to this day what was said. I don't know whether Sav actually said anything to him or Dublin just took offence to him being there. But, Sav wasn't the type of one that would go over the top with the verbal. He'd take the nick out of you, but he wouldn't have said anything disparaging, I wouldn't have thought. But he obviously just fried Dublin's brain that night.
It worked. It's been fried ever since. Tim says Keith Burton scored one in under 20 seconds, I think.
Okay.
There we go. Controversy.
That's a bit.
Yeah. Siobhan says certain Blues fans will always moan at something. Players should be used to the positive and negative vibes of these few. As for me, I take each player as they are. As long as they wear the shirt and do the best, I'm happy. That's what it's all about, wearing the shirt.
Yeah, I think the main thing we need to be now is patient because it's a transition period
again.
Yeah.
Well, it's a project, and it's like you said, it's a project, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the mentality we've got to have.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I just don't want to see us struggle this season. 5 out of 7 seasons we've struggled and we've dodged the bullet. You can't keep dodging the bullet every time. Sooner or later you get down. If somebody says to me now, comfortable halfway, and then we'll build again next season, I'd take that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mid-table success, to be honest, Dev.
Yeah. No, I'd take
Mid-table
that.
success. Yeah.
After the last few years we've had, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie says, we saw Dublin in the airport just after the Sav thing, and I shouted, "Hi, Sav and Dublin, hi, Sav," and Dublin nearly popped him. Oh no, I can't say that bit. He pooped himself. Just say he pooped himself. Yeah.
She has written popped.
Popped. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Dev, did you prefer playing down the middle or wide left? I remember you had a great spell partnering Paul Furlong.
Majority, I'd say 80% of my career I always played wide right. I don't know where she got the wide left from. Wide left.
Wide right.
Yeah, I always played wide right. I did like playing down the middle. It was great playing with Furs and Big Kev and people like that, because they're just used to, Big Kev especially, he'd cause that much mayhem. The ball would just drop for me and I'd get a tap in or something. But 80% of my career was as a winger, really. But I did like playing down the middle. The only thing I found about being stuck out wide, a lot of the time you can be on the periphery of the game. You're normally always the first one to get dragged off is the wide player. So unless you had a midfielder that could get you the ball all the time, it could be frustrating being out there. But I love, if I was in the team, I wasn't bothered. As long as I was playing, I hated being out the team. Hated being sub. If I had to play down the middle, great. If I had to play wide, great. But I don't know. Probably wide. Wide was my position more so than down the middle.
Who would you say?
You said you hated being sub. How did you deal with that match day?
Say that again, Nick. Come again.
You said you hated being a substitute. How did you actually deal with that on a match day? Was you like proper Mardy or what?
Oh yeah. All right, Titty baby. I hated it. I was anybody that played with me, they'll tell you I was the biggest moaner and the moodiest person in training on the pitch, because I hated it. It used to do my head in, lads that was content to be sub and content to sit on the bench. Used to drive me mad, because I'm thinking, well, you want to play? Everywhere. One of the biggest sort of things that I take pride in about my career was I was never out of contract. In 15 years as a pro, I was never out of contract, and that tells me that people wanted to sign me, but I was never happy to go. As soon as Brucey told me I wasn't going to be a regular at Blues, I went to Watford. As soon as Watford told me I wasn't going to be I left. I didn't want to go anywhere and just sit on the bench and pick my money up and not play. To me, it was all about playing. I wanted to look back at 35, 36. So, I played 500 games, I scored 100 goals, and I've had a good career. Not that I didn't want to sit on the bench for 4 to 5 years and pick me dough up. So it was always about playing for me. And I handled it badly. I hated being sub. I hated getting brought off all the time.
Yeah. And playing through the middle, who was the best? Sorry, Nick.
Go on, Paul.
I'll ask this one question because it relates to that. So in Paul Devlin's opinion, right, 500 games, 100 goals, how much would Paul Devlin be worth on today's market?
300 quid.
Oh God, I don't know. Listen, it's a really awkward, it's a really awkward question to say. I wouldn't know. Listen, you're only worth what anyone's willing to pay for you. I mean, the prices now are just that far inflated from reality. It's just like pretend money, isn't it? Really, a £10 million player is £1 million player, really, isn't it? In today's market. But listen, I don't know. I can't answer that.
No, I was just going to ask you, Dev. Playing through the middle as a striker, who was the best centre half you come up against? And playing down the right, who was the best left back you come up against?
Stuart Pearce was a great fullback. Ashley Cole was brilliant. Playing against the centre halves, John Terry, people like that. Sol Campbell, Martin Keown, people like that. It's really difficult to pick one out. Some great. That year we got. You look at all that team that were in the Premiership. They all had top quality players, didn't they? It was the year of the Invincibles. So you got Campbell and people like that. So they were all tough, mate.
I can imagine Stuart Pearce was like trying to get through a brick wall, wasn't he?
Yeah, he actually. My mate told me he actually gave me a mention in an article that he did. Stuart Pearce called me an horrible little swear word. Because I remember playing against him and leaving my footing on him a couple of times and being a bit ratty with him. And I don't know whether it was his book or not some article he done just saying, that Devlin is an horrible little something.
To be honest, though,
you could hear him coming now because his legs were like that, tree trunks.
That brings me to another question as well. Did you ever get sent off? Says Nigel Mann.
Did I ever get sent off?
Yeah. Did you ever get sent off?
Did he not watch me down the years? Yeah, I probably got sent off nearly as many times as I played. No, I got sent off far too many times. Probably, I don't know, 8, 9 times.
Really?
Yeah. My record was 6 minutes at Molyneux. That was my quickest ever sending off. But yeah, I mean,
who did you go through?
Mo Kamara, the left back. 6. And I'll tell you an interesting story. That was my in-laws' first ever time they come to watch me, and they were a bit late getting into Molyneux because my dad was having a beer. So they're like going, excuse me. Said they sat down. Said as soon as they sat down, they looked up and I was walking off. So my dad's got straight back up and took them back out to the boozer. And they saw 30 seconds of me walking off the pitch at Molyneux. That's
I love the
first
bit.
time match people.
Yeah, I love it when Steve Jenkins scores the own
quality.
goal. Is it Steve Jenkins? Steve Jenkins scores the own goal when he heads it in.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I shouldn't have. Yeah, when I ran up to him and celebrated in front of him, and he got sent off as well, didn't he?
Shame.
Honestly.
Yeah. That was just one of those, because I think that was late on.
Yeah. It was a
Going
late
back to
winner.
Stuart Pearce, though.
Go on, Mark.
Sorry, Paul. Going back to Stuart Pearce, do you reckon he was a hard man? Or do you reckon it was all image?
Yeah.
He was a hard man.
No, I'm on about hard on the football pitch. I don't know whether he could have a scrap, but he was hard on the football pitch. And I'm telling you, you'd be receiving the ball and you could hear him coming. It was like a bloody ball was running down to get you. But yeah, he was tough.
The veins used to stick out of his neck when he used to shout.
Yeah.
I remember seeing
And he could play as well. He could play as well, though. You know,
He was a great player.
Yeah, I mean, I remember actually, what a fullback that I didn't mention and I should have done. When I made my debut for Notts County, and bear in mind I'd only been out of Sunday football 6 weeks, and at that time Kenny Sampson was the most capped fullback for England. He had 86 caps for England, and he was at Coventry and he was coming to the end of his career. And I remember playing against Kenny Sampson. I think he was 36, 37. I was 19, and I'm thinking, I'm going to run all over him today. Never had a kick. Never gave me a kick. I mean, he was only a little fella. He was probably a little bit smaller than me. But he was so strong and so quick and just a really good footballer, and that always stuck out in my mind as well.
Yeah,
mind you, I think Tebley'd have Pearce.
You know what? I spoke to him the other day. I spoke to Tebs the other day.
Oh, right.
Yeah, messaged me on Facebook. Yeah, he's got his cognac vineyard or something, hasn't he, over there? But Tebs was a great lad. You know what? I had a couple of spells with Tebs at Sheffield and Blues. Real good fella, and let me tell you, he was hard as nails. He was hard as nails.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Of course, one of the only players, one of the only old school players to still have his own song that's active.
That's right, yeah.
Team of Tebley there.
He'd be another amazing guest, wouldn't he? Tebley. If we could get Tebley on, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be great. It'd be a great guest.
You speak
Send
English
us a bottle of wine.
His English isn't great. His English isn't, well, it wasn't great. I mean, I wouldn't imagine it's going any better if he's been living in France for the last 20 years. But he can speak English, mate. Don't get me wrong. Well, listen, when he was at Sheffield, he was devout, married man, and didn't drink, didn't smoke. He had 3 years at Celtic. He come back, he was divorced, he smoked, he drank. He done everything called English, lads. Done. Glasgow finished him off for 3 years up there.
I would do, wouldn't it?
Okay, we're into the last 15 minutes, lovely, believe it or not. And, it's
God.
that time of year. Let's put the clock back an hour. Is it back or forward an hour? I don't know. And, of course, it's Halloween and bonfire night. We're not really able to celebrate either of them. So the last 15 minutes tonight is anything to do with Halloween and or bonfire night and football. Anything to do with Halloween and bonfire night and football. Here you go. Make me laugh.
Oh, God.
Paul Devlin. Paul Devlin.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Oh.
Right. Excuse me while I nip off for 2 seconds.
How about Frankenstein Worthington?
Oh, what one? Frankenstein Worthington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
We got a game Saturday as well, haven't we, before the next show? So we got Wickham Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then Saturday. Have we got Saturday?
Yeah.
Anyone know?
Yeah. No, I don't know off the top of my head, mate. You know what? When it was Crows, Shay Adams' family.
We got Bournemouth. We got Bournemouth at home on Saturday.
Bournemouth, that's it.
What do we reckon to that?
Mickey Banger. Oh God! Somebody will tell us who we got out. When it was Crows, I'd know pretty much, the whole season. Paul, it'd be mapped and planned. But I can't into it at the minute. Can't get into it. Shay Adams' family, I like that one. Bournemouth, apparently, called Steve Portman. Thank you, Steve Portman.
Yeah, Bournemouth at home.
I'll take a point against Bournemouth.
Yeah, be good to get 4 points from them.
Rangers, so we've got a little bit of disparity going on there. So I can't put my phone off the on. So it's either Bournemouth or Queen's Park Rangers at the minute. So anything to do with fireworks, bonfire night, Halloween and fall. Jay Adams' family, I do like that one.
Jeff Hurstfield.
And Chris, we're going to be doing some charity stuff, aren't we, for the Great Christmas giveaway?
We are, yeah. We've got to sort out the finer details, which our friend Craig Courtney is sorting out. But yeah, watch this space. Yeah. Says Chris Brown.
Oh, okay, Debs. Another reason for having you on tonight then is obviously your daughter's illness, so we can have some awareness about this and. Addison's disease.
Yeah.
I know you've told us about it before, but there are other people watching now tonight. Half-time lead 0 Leicester 2. Addison's disease. Explain what it is and explain what you do.
Addison's disease, it's a lifelong, life-threatening condition. There's no cure for it at the moment. Basically, she got an infection and it's destroyed her adrenal glands. So she doesn't produce the hormones that the adrenal glands would normally produce. So basically, anything to do with stress, illness, accident, things like that, she doesn't produce the hormones that can fight it off. So it's lifelong medication, and we just have to be, obviously you can imagine with Corona and all that's going on now, we have to be really, really careful. We have to get her up at 6 every morning, give her her steroids to basically keep her alive. So, I'd never heard of it until 2 or 3 years ago when she got diagnosed with it. It's been a bit of a life changer for her, obviously, but for all of us in the family as well. And what we've done the last few years, we've just done fundraising for her. So, if new treatments do become available, rather than they're available but we can't afford to get them, we've tried to raise a pot of money for her. So, if and when they do become available, she's got money there to go straight in and get it done if it's ever a possibility in the future. Is
that in America? Right. You need to go to.
Well, wherever. Because it's such a rare disease. I think there's only 150,000 people worldwide got it. It's quite a rare disease. So there isn't a lot of specialists out there looking into it. And I know that the top one in England's Professor Hinmarsh. I think he's based down at Great Ormond Street or somewhere like that. But there, we just hope that in years to come, there's, I don't know whether it's be some sort of transplant or some sort of cure that, just might give her a better quality of life. And it's a strange one because you can look at it and you think it's one of those invisible illnesses where you can't see anything wrong with her. But she can go from being fine to what they call is an adrenal crisis, where basically she can be dying and you've got to give her an emergency injection. And let me tell you, I wouldn't want to go through it again. You're sitting in a hospital and you're seeing your daughter on a table turning blacker and her eyes rolling, thinking that you're going to lose
so helpless. I bet the thing is, I bet you feel so helpless as well.
Helpless, yeah.
There's just nothing you can do.
We're lucky because a lot of kids don't survive when they have an adrenal crisis. We were lucky. She's had the one where obviously she got diagnosed. She had another one about a year ago where my wife had to give her an emergency injection, and it was obviously hospital for a few days. But touch wood, she's here, mate, to fight another day. So
exactly,
we just want to do what we can for her.
There's always hope.
Yeah.
There's always hope. And of course, with all the money there's always money going into research and so forth.
Listen, Chris,
there's always somebody working on it.
She's only 13, 14 at the minute, so 10 years down the line, 5 years, 20 years, whatever it is, you never know what's around the corner.
No, that's right. And there's always people working on these things all the time, all the time, 24 hours a day. Yeah.
I was going to say, sorry, Paul, Dev, have you got any sort of fundraisers planned for next year when all this is over? Have you got any more charity events or anything like that?
I mean, we had a couple of great events last year. Obviously, with the way this year's gone, everything's was a spanner in the works. Paul came to a couple of them. Didn't you, Paul? With one of the Italian Hall. We had
it was a good night.
We had like a Q&A thing that night with a few of the old players, and we had a real good charity match against Wolves at the Tally Ho.
I went to that one,
two really strong teams, so that was great. And then we had a nice golf day where two of my absolute all-time heroes for Blues actually came down and played. Mick Harford and Tony Coton. Yeah. Great to see them. They turned up and come and played for Annie in a golf day. So I'd like to do another match, another event. So and a golf day. But obviously this year we've had to just put everything on ice, really.
Sedgmere, the one at the Sedgmere was good as well, wasn't it?
The one that said,
yeah.
Go on, Nick.
Need anything? We're always here on a Monday. Every Monday night, we're always here. All the way through the football season.
Always here.
Right.
Do you want me to go through some of these, Nick?
Getting back to it. We've got Jeff Hurstfield.
Yes.
From Linda. It's quite good. Grant Poltergeist.
Somebody was asking... Sorry, Nick. Somebody was asking if Dev's going to do a 1 to 11. It was a bit short notice, wasn't it, Dev? To be fair, because obviously,
I've done you a 1 to 11.
He has.
Robbie Stag Pie. We've got hotter chocolate. Oh,
did you do it from the players you played with, though?
No, just my favourite players.
I was after one from the players you
we'll
played.
We'll do that next time. We'll do that next time. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I Fortingham, Charles and Zombie.
That's
a good one. Halloween Rooney, Paul Pumpkin, Lantern Donovan, Jimmy Sparkler.
I like it.
Oh dear. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Ibrahimovic, yeah.
Gold Furlong, Jonathan Spector, which is clever. Yeah.
Gold Furlong.
G. Mark Kinsella.
Oh, that's got him now. He's gone.
Jimmy remember Mark.
Just going back to Annie, Jackie says she's a beautiful girl and her cakes look amazing. I've got to admit they do look good, don't they, those cakes?
She's good at making them. She's not too good at the washing up.
No, I can imagine.
I'm the kitchen porter when she's making the cake. I don't want washing up, let me tell you. I'm like the washer upper and delivery boy, so I have to go and deliver.
5 minutes to go. Lovely. But Martin Scartell, Barry Fry, D the 13th. Barry Fry.
I do like that one. Somebody's thought about that, haven't they? Yeah.
I can't read that one out, but it's brilliant. You know the one.
Yeah. Hit on the Thriller.
Yeah.
Gary
Guillotine.
Yeah.
Honestly, do crack me up on a Monday night. Lord.
I do like the John Smith one. That's been well thought out, hasn't it? Brian Hughes, you're going to call Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Clever.
What about Crypt Houghton?
Yeah.
No?
Hang on.
Oh, come on. I don't deserve that, do I?
What about David Dungeon?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, very good.
Phil Bones. Oh, dear me.
And Craig says, as mentioned on the show, the Great Tilton Talk giveaway has been launched, and we will be raising for Addison's as well. And Craig's put the link up as well. So that's something we're hoping to do towards Christmas time. Stephen and Zombie.
I quite like that one. Yeah, I quite like that one.
Yeah, very good.
And Deb, one question I asked Marcus Painter last week, and I'll ask you now. Who was the most underrated player you would say you played with at Blues?
Oh, underrated. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say he was underrated, but I always thought he had fantastic ability. Was Jonathan Hunt? He was probably the most two-footed player I ever played with. Real good ability. I actually played him again at Sheffield, and they didn't like him up there. They hated him up there, so it was a strange one. But I think he got from centre midfield the season before I came 3 hat-tricks for Blues from centre midfield that one year. But I mean, I wouldn't know whether you under was that's a really good ability.
Mm. Yeah, I think we were sport with Brian Hughes, weren't we? Straight after him, that was the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Hughes was a great player as well, and got a lot of goals. Got a lot of goals from midfield. But it's a tough one, that underrated. Because
what about Tommy Mooney?
Yeah, Moons was a good player, but it's when I come back the second time, I don't know whether he didn't get on with Bruce or he did get on with Bruce. He was sort of in and out a little bit, Moons. But Moons is a top lad and had a really good career, Moons.
Yeah.
But you talk about people like Steve Vickers. Steve Vickers was really important in that promotion winning team. A very quiet bloke off the pitch, but real good leader. Jeff Kenner, people like that.
Yeah.
Jeff was a great player. So it's hard to pick one out because obviously midfielders, forwards, goalkeepers. Everyone's different. But no, I was fortunate to play with some great players down the years there.
Mm.
There's a real bond, wasn't there, between the fans and that sort of era?
Yeah, it was, and it's funny because I was only saying this to someone the other day. I think now with players at the top level and probably even championship to a certain extent, they're that far removed from the fans now. I don't know how often they socialise with them, how often they go and have a beer in the same pubs as them and all that. Will you ever get that bond with players again?
That's it.
That's the promotion team, all good lads. Most of us got on great. We all socialised together. We go out and have a beer with have the crack with people. So it's strange because I used to love it. You go and play a game and you go off and have a beer somewhere and you'd be talking to somebody about the game and what's happened there, why did you do that and what. So that was all part and parcel of it for me. But I think those times, especially at the top level, Premier League level, I think they're getting that far away from the people that go and watch them there.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
that's what money does for you.
Sorry, Nick. Go on, Nick.
What money does for you.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, I'll just read a couple more and then you'll have to
I'll pick
finish
one
off. Okay, yeah, we've got Darren Curse, which is a good one, and Lee Vamp, Nigel Sphinx, Tommy Cowell at the Mooney, Trevor Fanfix, Grant Poltergeist, Carlos Boo Robin Vampire C, Barry Hornet, and I think that'll do.
Darren Curse at the end.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Darren Curse.
Well,
yeah. Go on, Nick.
Thanks ever so much for stepping in, Debs. You're always welcome on the Tilton Talk Show, as you
No
well know.
worries.
And you're a friend of the show and a top bloke and an absolute leg blues, mate. And seriously, we've got so many memories between us, and I feel sorry for little kids nowadays because they never got to see you because they were some proper occasions. Good. Well, sponsored by Boyle Sports, this has been the Tilton Talk Show. We'll be back here next Monday. 2 games to talk about next Monday and hopefully 6 points to talk about, but we'll have to wait and see. Thank you to Boyle Sports, our sponsors, principal sponsor of Birmingham City Football Club, SAS Autos, our friends at BHST, and of course,
the
Boys Labour Club
and the Garrison Coffee Company. That's it, well done.
Garrison Coffee Company. I did mention it.
I know.
Unfortunately, we've got to go. It's time to go. That's sad. So from Mrs. Brown.
Good night.
And from Mr. Robe.
Good night, everybody. Stay safe.
Mr. Hicks.
Good night, everyone.
And from myself, good night. And of course, from Paul Devlin.
Right.
Keep right on, everybody. Keep the faith, because I tell you what, things are changing. Things are changing down there. Wish we could go and see. All right, God bless and keep right.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
We'll support you till the end of the day.